you don't own integrity, people won't believe that all the things you've accomplished.
And I think we don't always acknowledge how human beings, survived and evolved by having an instinct to hunt.
All right. So, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to rip.
All right, man. Name, call sign, and affiliation.
My name's Nick. I'm called Milsim Peanut or Peanut, and I do not have a team affiliation at this time.
How did you get your call sign?
It's actually a work nickname that I earned a long time ago. Just an old manager. Me being a big guy, just thought it would be a funny thing to call me Peanut one time on a job site doing something, and just kind of stuck there. And it transitioned over into the Airsoft world because I had a couple of Airsoft buddies working with me at the time, and they kind of dragged it over, and here we are.
Love how people get their call signs.
It's sometimes it's funny. A lot of times I think it's more earned. It needs to be earned,
Oh, yeah.
I think, rather
100%.
than just given.
Usually with us, we'll start off with something just funny.
Yep.
Until we get to know the person better, and then they get their actual call sign.
Yep, right.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in New York, but I've been raised and live in New Hampshire.
All right. How long you been in New Hampshire for?
I want to say I've been in New Hampshire probably now going on 28 years.
Why do you stay in New England?
It's just home. I love the weather. I love the area. I love being able to just travel up and down the coast, whether I'm going to Boston and hit the city, or if I want to go up to Maine and hit Cape Cod go down to Cape Cod and go up to Maine and hit the beach, hit the lighthouses, and just see the ocean, or go all the way out into the sticks of New Hampshire and just do anything I want.
Yeah, I find that there's no place quite like New England.
No.
You get whatever you want within an hour.
Yep.
You know, whether it's city life, whether it's ocean life, whether
Exactly.
it's mountain life. It's within an hour you can get there.
Anywhere.
You know,
And I think realistically, I mean, it's labeled on me. I think I'm proud of where I'm from.
Hold them up. I can't see them. Or
Yes.
hold them up to the other camera.
I got 603 on this arm here, and then the state of New Hampshire on this one.
Hell yeah.
So it's home, no matter
Damn
what.
right. How did you get into airsoft?
I got into Airsoft originally back in 2004, where a neighbor of me and my brothers had moved into our neighborhood from Japan. He was speaking English, his family was not, so it was just that transition of how we communicated between the two families. And he showed us some of the original guns from like Tokyo Marui and Elite Force and stuff like that, and Crossman, as much as that is an old name, and I'm sure people are going to be like, whoa, dating myself. But he brought some of those over, and just all of a sudden out in the backyard, we heard plink, 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 and went over and was like, what are you doing?
Immediate interest.
And immediately was like, all right, let's check this out. And one thing led to another, and we, running around, we had a little more property on our house than he did, and running around the backyard with airsoft guns, shooting each other, shooting pop cans and stuff like that. And that's just kind of where it led from there, and just the addiction really slowly started to grow.
It is an addiction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it really is. People don't
get it.
Yeah,
People
they
don't
really
understand. And they're like, oh, you just go buy a gun and some BBs and go out and play. And it's like, yeah.
I think it's safe to say it's a
Sure.
lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Right?
100%.
Right?
I mean, doing it the way that I've been doing it now is nothing compared to what it was when I started. Like, I mean, just plunking around in the backyard and doing this and that. There was no major event runners that I knew of. There was no large things to do with groups of people. Now, travel the country and play with hundreds and hundreds of people at the same time with tanks and trucks and bombs going, you name it, blank fire, absolutely. And it's just like certain people in their jobs. It's a lifestyle. You have to be dedicated to it. If you want to play, play.
That's awesome. What is your favorite platform to run and why?
My favorite platform is normally going to be along the lines of an M4. That's just standard, I mean, across the board for most people. I prefer it just because I'm most comfortable with it. Don't get me wrong, I love changing it up here and there. My normal background has been an LMG. For a lot of people in the game know me from my starting is Peanut running around with the A&K 249 big boy gun and then switched over to the Crytek, but M4 is just normally where I'm at, and recently I've just obtained an SMG, so we're gonna give that a go too.
How'd you like the Crytek?
I love Crytek guns. I started off originally with just the Crytek SPR. Out the box, those are insane guns. They're well built, great price range, good for the budget build. And then, I mean, I want to say it was probably within 2 years after use and abuse of it, rain, storm, dirt, you name it, it slowly started to fade out. And then that's when I finally was like, all right, I think it's time to change it up, fix it up. And I slapped a Polar Star in it. And then that's where some real addictions began there.
Yeah, I've seen a couple guys with the their Crytek's with the Polar Stars.
Yep.
And they're insane.
Yep.
DK, remember, I'm not sure if he had a Polar Star in it, but I do remember his Crytek was nuts. Do you prefer AEGs or HPAs?
I prefer HPA only just due to, for me, in years past and learning over the curves, just that reliability, weatherproofing or weather resistant, and I mean, all around consistency, in my opinion, is better. I mean, obviously, you can build up your guns to do whatever you want for AEG, putting motors, shims, gears, you name it. And heck, maybe even trying to do things that you can waterproof. But HPA has definitely gone a little bit more of that further step where it's already pre-built, it's already pre-done, it's already solidified, and everything is more consistent about it. With AEG, you got to tinker, you got to adjust, you got to find that right ratio with your gears, your motor, your piston, your compression. There's really not that much to HPA. It's more plug and play, maybe a few tinkering of adjustments here and there. But I prefer HPA over AEG.
What are some of your favorite brands for Airsoft?
Put it to you, guns or gear?
That's a good question. I'm going for the replicas.
Replicas, okay. I'm going to start off immediately again, as we were just saying, Crytek. Crytek's a solid brand that I love recommending to people. VFC is definitely going to be my next step. They are a solid brand. I have a VFC Block 2 Avalon from them. I mean, that gun is insane. I mean, I'm really stuck to living solid by brands. I mean, there's only a few brands that just over the years, yes, I mean, G&G, they do solid work. I have G&G, like the CM16 was obvious. Like most people's first M4 is just starting with that basic $150, $200 G&G. And they are great guns. But I just think there are certain companies that do that next step. And I stand by VFC with their bodies and their builds. Crytek's a solid company. Whether it's HPA or AEG, I love Wolverine's MTW series. It's a billet series gun. So everything on the gun is mil spec. So it is real steel measurements and everything. And that to me is quite easier, especially where I transition a lot of my stuff between airsoft and real steel with the practice and training and shooting. I can take parts from my real steel stuff or extra components that I may have, and I can put it onto this build and kind of mock it up like this build is exactly what my real steel build is at home. So it's more of full transition when I'm running things.
And what are some of the brands that you stand behind for your gear?
I'll say with this, if I'm going to recommend guys for gear to start out, or if they're going to start buying gear, looking into gear to get through, I'm going to start recommending right off the rip people going to like Condor, One Tigress, Krydex. I mean, those are the basic brands that I would recommend to guys that if they're looking for solid gear, not looking to spend a bunch of money, but they do want to have, you know, compatibility or versatility when it comes to making a loadout. Those are three of the brands that I recommend to people. You know, I have a Krydex chest rig at home. It's almost a spitting image as a real steel Haley Strategic, but I spent a quarter of the price. And it still does the same job as a lightweight chest rig for carrying 3 mags and a backpack. So I definitely recommend those 3 brands when it comes to airsoft gear itself.
that's a point that we've heard a few people make now to the new airsofters, especially. Don't just go for the
high end.
No, don't go high end immediately. If you're in the sport for a few years and you end up being obsessed with it, like most
Sure,
people do
step it
get
out.
there, then yeah, step where you want to.
Yep.
But to start out, make sure you like the sport first, because you can end up dumping a lot of
money into something. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And a lot of times when I get people all the time that message me, or I see it on group chats, like, or Facebook pages, I'm just getting into it, or I just bought a gun, or what should I do? I want to get into it. Rent. Go rent. Go play for 2 weeks renting, like in total 2 weeks time. So sorry, just saying, this camera's got a warning thing or something on it.
All right.
You got blinky. So renting wise, I tell people go rent in total for about 2 weeks time. So if that means you got to go for 3 or 4 weeks to hit a couple weekend events, even if they're, midweek games, because I know some places are open during the week, 2 weeks of renting. Give it a shot. Try it out. See if you like it. Because some people, they get into, I'm going to run around, play like real life Call of Duty and stuff. But guess what? They don't like getting shot. They don't like the feeling of it. Okay, it's not for you. Go try paintball. Go try something else. It's not for everybody. But there are some people that they rent one time or rent 2 times and they are addicted. And that's where it's like, that will make that difference. I'd rather somebody go spend, $100 in 3 weekends rather than $1,000 before they even go spend $30 for 1 weekend. And they're like, I don't like this. Now I got to get rid of all of this, or I got to change things. So I tell people, if you're going to get into it and you want to start out, go rent, go ask around, go check things out, borrow gear, ask people for extra stuff they have on hand, because it's not worth going and dumping the money into it and then not liking it. I've been playing now since like I said, I've been playing since 2004, just like messing with them professionally or running around in games, events, weekend stuffs. It's been since, I want to say it's probably been since 2011, where I've been running around like full blown with gear and guns and everything top to bottom. I didn't run around with any of that beforehand. It was literally a pair of camo pants and some face paint and a clear gun.
Yeah.
So
it's taking that time between your camo pants and a shirt and a clear gun. You start to figure out what you need on the field.
Yep.
And that's important, because everybody needs something different when they're playing. And everybody, me personally, I have sensory stuff, so I try to drop leg. And I was running with it. It moved too much on me, and
Yep.
I did everything I can. Or if it got too tight, then I was like,
wiggles, it
this
wobbles,
sucks.
it squeezes,
yeah.
it's
So,
not tight enough. Yep.
Exactly, but I wasted the money on that. And then I also got a drop leg mag pouch. I was like, I need
Yep.
some extra mags. I'm gonna get this. And same deal.
Now you got something wobbling on your leg.
Right,
It's
right.
driving you nuts.
Knowing that about myself, I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop with certain things. So I totally agree that doing
What other people are running.
Exactly. What's your favorite piece of kit? Not to be confused with what is your most important piece of kit, but what is your favorite piece of kit? What do you just love having?
That's a good one. I'm going to turn and look at it real quick. Honestly, I think realistically, my favorite piece of kit to have now is the versatility of plate carriers and gear now. I mean, my plate carrier, or a plate carrier, I think that's just favorite pieces of kit. I can't relate it to one thing. I'm going to say in general, plate carriers. Just because, like we were just saying, the amount that you can change, move things, customize, build it to what you want it to be, that's my favorite. Because I mean, yeah, I could look at you and be like, that's not what I run, but that's dope as all hell. So I think for me, my favorite piece of kit would be plate carriers, just how much you can change them.
Yeah, each airsofter will be completely different of what they prefer. We did an interview with Clock a couple weeks ago from Op4, and his is he does run a plate carrier here and there,
Yep.
but chest rig is his go-to.
Yep.
And like Austin does plate carriers. I do a battle belt with a chest harness. thing.
Just like an H harness kind of a deal.
Yeah, and I started with a plate carrier. My problem for me is when I'd lay down, it would push up against me and get the, and for just for me and my play style, it just didn't work. But that's important for people to know that there's different kits to try out to see what suits your play style the most.
Yep, 100%.
All right, man. What is the most important piece of kit in your opinion for you to have?
iPro and Face Pro. I mean, I'm going to relate it. PPE. I'll say it like that. PPE. Above anything. Sure, gloves are, I mean, yes, I'll get gloves count, but I'm going to say facial PPE is my most important piece of kit, or what I say is the most important piece, because I can't tell you nowadays how crazy it is seeing some of these fields and events allowing some of these face masks that come off of Temu and Amazon and all these other weird wanky chanky websites. That's not safe, and it's unreal how they somehow are allowed to promote it as ANSI safe, it's, shock resistant. You need to know what you're putting on your face. God gave you 2 eyes, only 2 eyes. Use them and keep them.
Right.
Buy proper iPro, buy proper face protection. I mean, teeth are replaceable, sure, but I don't want to replace them at all. I have them, let's keep them. So I'm going to say like facial PPE is like my top priority when having kit wise.
Yeah, teeth are expensive. We had a guy and another guy that weren't wearing face masks.
Not saying any names.
Not saying any names. Not wearing any face masks. And then this one guy shot the other guy in the face and chipped his tooth. And they've worn face masks since then, haven't you? Haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah,
and honestly, and I'm literally right there. I kid you not. I have always been, and people can look at any social media, I have never been a guy for Face Pro. Everyone's always been, I know Peanut because of the beard. I kid you not, this summer I had the biggest scare of anything being shot from me to you with a gun, and I had blood coming out of my mouth, and I thought I lost the tooth, and I was sitting there, and it hurt, and I was like, yep, I got to make a change.
Yep.
So that's where I was just bouncing around, and then finally it just landed on my lap where Cygnus Armory reached out, and that worked out perfectly.
That's awesome. Where's your journey in Airsoft taking you over the country?
Well, over the country, I have traveled all over the East Coast. I mean, from the tip top of Maine all the way down to the bottom of Massachusetts and Bourne, Bridgewater area. I've gone out into Vermont going that way. I have gone to Georgia multiple times to attend events down there with American Milsim. I haven't gone anywhere else just yet, but next month, I will be attending Operations Lion's Claw's Thunderdome 6 at the Northgate Mall in Durham, North Carolina. So that's going to be insane. My first major indoor-only game. There is like a outer food court thing, but that's strictly like you're playing in a mall. So that's going to be pretty fun.
What has been some of your favorite fields to play at?
I'm going to say definitely off the top. I mean, immediately the first one that it's always been a dream, and I finally lived it a couple of years ago, going down to the Guardian Centers in Georgia. It's one of the government training institutes where they train, I mean, you name any sort of natural disaster, first responder, anything like that. That's where they train them for anything and everything. It's just an insane AO. The building's 3 or 4 stories high, rooms and rooms on anything, cars all over the place. They have a full-blown subway system within the property complex. So you're running around in a train system tunnel, lights on, lights off, having to use night vision, no night vision. I mean, they even had a couple years ago, they had blank fire propane things going off where it would just make a big loud bang and just kind of added to the dynamic. Then local fields, I definitely would say Zulu 24 is on my top list. It's one of my favorite fields over on the East Coast.
Where's that?
That's in New Windsor, Newburgh, New York. Okay. It's like right there on that line. Insane property. I love the staff there. I love the property. I've only been going there maybe 3 or 4 years now. It's always a blast, and it changes every time you go. They have got something different. Going back and dating myself for people that watch this, the original UBG down in Bourne, Massachusetts. That was where the original Stag Ops series took off and where they were hosting their events. Just a insane, large, spread out property with wood coverage, full trail systems, they well-spaced bases and buildings and cities and you name it. The new UBG here in Bridgewater, Mass, definitely a favorite. Feel Good Farms in Lineborough, New Hampshire. And I also at RPC Airsoft in Fremont, New Hampshire are definitely some good ones that I run to.
I bet playing that game you did in Georgia a few times, I bet the immersion's pretty crazy.
Insane.
Huh? Like once you have all that backdrop, it really allows.
Feels.
Yeah.
It feels real. I mean, I'm never served a day in my life, and I will never claim that I've ever had. I've never done anything Leo. I've nothing. But jumping into doing that stuff, sure, there is no blank fire. It's not a Milsim West event. But just alone going into AO like the Guardian Centers, it really makes you feel like you are playing Call of Duty, or making you feel like you're at war fighting against another army of guys that are doing the same thing you are. Again, obviously, we all know at the end of the day it's airsoft, but it's really fun to be able to go to an AO like that, especially because an event like that and an AO like that, for the most part, everyone's like-minded. And like, you're going to go in there and you know that the guy behind you, for the most part, is going to clear that room with you. And like, you're doing some real stuff. So it adds to that immersion. You're like into it. And then if they add technicals into it, that's even better. Driving around cars or tanks or trucks or whatever with guns mounted on them, and dudes are mounting 203s on their guns or carrying around full AT4s, shooting rockets at things, chalk rounds. Nuts.
Do you plan on making a Milsim West event someday?
That is in the schedule. I'm not sure when. I was hoping to possibly look into doing one this year, but just how things are lining up and what I've already seen on my schedule, I'm going to be doing a couple more localized things. There's a couple local event runners that are looking to do their own events, and I'm going to be supporting them rather than doing a lot of travel stuff this year. I will be traveling, but this year is definitely going to be more of a local community focused.
What are some of your favorite states to play in?
I love playing in New Hampshire all the time, just because weather changes. Weather's different every time. I mean, I could walk outside one day and it's raining. Next day it could be 90 degrees and 100% humidity, or I could go outside like it is right now and it's, there's 6.5, 7 inches of snow on the ground. I'm not a huge outdoor playing in the winter kind of guy, but then again, same thing. You can go right to indoor. So, I mean, it changes all over depending on what you want. So I love playing in New Hampshire. I definitely will say going south is just fun, just because the temperature's there and things are different down there as well. But up here, it's more woods ball, and then elsewhere you're getting AOs, city play, indoor, stuff like that.
I imagine that the difference between them are quite big.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll set us up. Do you find? Hold on. Let's bring it in now that I'm being filmed. You're right. Do you find that the sport is played differently from state to state, field to field, in any way?
Absolutely. I feel that it's played differently 100% everywhere, whether it's state to state or even community to community, because there are some places that it's like, for example, I know some guys that live out in New York, like city New York. They have nowhere woods ball anywhere. They are strictly regulated to driving to like Long Island and Manhattan to play indoor all the time. So like, that's all they're used to, is playing indoor. So like, where we literally like could walk out the door and go play in the woods, we play it all the time. We have the option, gratefully, within, like we were talking earlier, within an hour we could go to Harris Farms, or hour and a half we could go down to Extreme Airsoft and play indoors and this and that. It's just the versatility, or not versatility, the different states of how each place is set up. It's just, it's all different. So you could be all woods ball because you have no indoor fields, or you could have all indoor fields because you have no woods living around you. And then when it comes to each, like, people playing the game differently, absolutely, people play it differently because, I mean, some guys just literally want to have that, I'm just going to go run around for the day and have some fun. They don't buy all this kit. They don't do all this stuff. They just go out and play it. So there are certain people in certain parts of the region where they can't play like this all the time. So they don't want to spend all that money. So they just go rent every single weekend just to go have some fun. But then there's guys like us where we can travel the country to indoor fields, outdoor fields, government training facilities, you name it, and just play how we want to. Everybody has their own niche of what they want to play, but I definitely think it's played differently. Each and every state and every community is different.
I think that's a great point that you make between someone that only has access to the indoor places to play and then somebody that can go outside in the woods and play. I don't know if I'd ever play an indoor. I don't know if I have an interest. I love being out in the woods, and I'm sure someone that only plays indoor, has the same feeling. What the hell am I going to do?
Why am I going to play outside? I don't want to ruin my gear.
Right? Yeah. I've watched a good amount of indoor games, and what's the speed softing is kind of like the thing. And then I think it was Gordon, you and I, that talked about speed softing and how everything has their place, but there's definitely a line between people that play in the woods and people that play inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Do you find that from the places you go?
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, and there are still those guys that cross over, like, oh, I'm an indoor player, but I'm going to go play outdoor. Or they are an outdoor guy and they're going to go play indoor. It's just one of those things that remembering where you are is key when those guys are, like, when you go play, like, if you're an indoor player, most of the time that's speed softing. That is your tack shooting, your fast-paced tack shooting at a CQB course that's not niche cornered. You're not room clearing. You're not doing other things like an outdoor player or a Milsim player would. Speed soft indoor players, you're bunker to bunker, and it's, team based. You only have a certain amount of people. So that, and then again, where the faster you get them out, the quicker you win is part of the match game. And then, like, I mean, there's just so many that go to it, but it's like the ramping, the triggering, that's just unnecessary all the time. Like, it's crazy seeing those guys coming out and speed triggering. It's just not necessary. Like, that, if that's what you guys do indoor because you guys are fast paced, moving from bunker to bunker, low crawling, and you need that last second gap between, the snake and between, the Dorito, fine. Speed trap, that's fine. But, like, realize you come out to a field and there's a 10-year-old hiding in that corner. You shouldn't be dumping 50 rounds pre-firing coming around a corner. I can tell you that right now. Like, sure, do I pre-fire? Yeah, I'll admit that. I pre-fire sometimes when I'm clearing a room. Absolutely. You'll see it in my videos. But at least I know coming into a room, I'm not going to dump more than 5 or 6 rounds to pre-fire. I will walk into a room and pop, pop, pop. I'm empty? Cool. There's no need for me to come in and to somebody. That's just, to me, that's cringe.
No, I think that's a good point that, when it comes to airsoft, a lot of people that are airsoft content creators, a lot of people are not going to put, their mistakes up there and put that out there for people to see. But everybody makes these mistakes. Everybody shoots their own teammates every once in a while.
Yep.
It's just what we do.
Falling. Known for it.
I will always put any clip I see of someone falling onto a video because it's absolutely hilarious.
Yep. It's even better where I've gotten, like, the first person of me, like, I'm sitting there running around, and all of a sudden, boop, there's a log and I fall over. It's even better. I got the third person view from the dude behind me.
Oh yeah.
And all of a sudden I get the comment and I put them together. That's the best part of it.
Yeah.
I could care less. Or even
hilarious.
if I'm clearing a corner and I run right into a wall, that's awesome. I could care less. See my mistake.
It's like what we were talking about earlier off camera, is that at the end of the day, we're running around shooting each other with toy guns.
Yep.
That's what we're doing. So
100%.
anyone that's going to take that too seriously it's kind of like steer away from those people because you are shooting each other with toy guns, whether you're 10 or you're 60.
Yep.
But I've seen them all, as far as the ages. But something else I
100%.
love about the sport personally is the age difference. And
Yep.
people are learning a lot more than just airsoft from these older guys and gals that are playing. You learn from these people
100%.
and they can be good mentors in your life. But going to your falling, I had a great moment this year where I'm running up to a tree, and I shouldn't say run. I should say lightly jogging because I was tired as hell. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like trying to get across a field of fire. I'm like, I'm just gonna hop over this little obstacle and I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna go. This is in my head as I'm approaching it. And then as I get to it, I'm like, please don't trip. And I hit it and I just scorpion myself
Done.
completely. And I was like, oh, it's terrible.
Yep. I hope somebody got that on camera.
No, I
That's
did.
the only
I
thought.
got it. It's in the video. It's in our,
Perfect.
what was it, Grenza video.
But no, what you were just saying, like with like the people that take it too serious, I mean, that is like a perfect key point. Like, do I take this sport seriously? 1000%. It's my hobby. It's my sport. It's the thing I do. I'm a content creator. I mean, I do this with my friends. I do this with some family here and there too. So like, I know I'm here to have a good time. But the big thing that I look at everyone and I go and I say is, right here, you have a switch. You hold that switch all the time. The second you step on the field, you hold that switch. I have that control. Flip that switch. I know that when I step on the field, depending on the game, depending on the scenario, depending on the situation, am I going serious right now or am I here to have fun? Like, I know if I'm going to go play at Guardian Centers, yes, I know I'm going there to have a good time, but I'm going to flip that switch to the serious switch because I know that what I'm doing, where I'm at, I'm practicing, I'm training, I'm doing that, like you said, transitioning from like some of these older guys that are using it for their real world practice. They've done it before, they've served, so that's what they do for. Like, I know I can take it serious in that kind of a game because I spend the money, I spend the time to do it. So I'm being serious about it. But I know that if something were to happen or something is funny, I know I can break that character and go, I just ate it, or I just killed myself with my own grenade. That was awesome.
Are you sponsored by anybody?
I am. I am currently represented by 5, but 6 companies.
And who are they?
I am currently represented by EG Combat Sports, or EG Grenade Company, Enola Gay, Ironclad Tactical Gloves, Spearhead Group, Agilite Tactical Gear as a gear tester, Cygnus Armory Airsoft Gear, and a co-ambassador for Bucked Up Energy.
Well, that's awesome. How did you get to be sponsored? How did that come about for you?
Becoming a sponsored player, originally when it first started out when I ran a team, we had a couple of companies that had reached out to us at that point, and we worked with those companies, and it was ammo. We had our local field that sponsored us with some field discounts and some gear and stuff like that, which is awesome. And then that team separated, and I kind of went on to my own thing. And it was originally I joined into the EG Combat Sports affiliate program a couple of years ago, and all that was simply like, if they accepted you into the program, you got a coupon code and you could pass out that code to people, and it was just use your code, they get a discount on smokes, pyro, stuff like that. And after a couple of months of stuff and them seeing my content, they actually ended up closing the program because they weren't seeing it on their end, like the revenue for it, and it just wasn't working. But they reached out to me and were like, listen, we love what we see. We love the work that you've done. And we'd love to select you as the only, as of current right now, the only U.S. representative for Enola Gay as a player. They have 4 or 5, I believe, other representatives and or teams over in the United Kingdom where the company is actually based. But as of this point, Enola Gay is the only company that I'm the only Enola Gay representative in the U.S.
That's crazy.
But from there, it literally grew, just companies seeing the work I did, companies seeing content I could make, my growth in the community, what my mission and goal was, growing the community. It was those things that over time, companies were like, we like seeing what this dude's doing. We like seeing that he's out there doing this, or he's, you know, showing his gear like this and this and that. And just slowly here and there, companies reached out asking, hey, we'd like you to try this out, or we'd like to work with you on this, or, you know, if we give you a little discount, would you test this out and review it for us? And then, you know, one thing leads to another, and we signed agreements, and here we are sitting 5, technically 6 sponsors deep, and wouldn't have imagined it different compared to where I started back in 2004.
So it's pretty organic then, huh?
Yeah.
That's the best way to have it. What are your favorite types of airsoft players to see on the field?
So my favorite types of airsoft players to see on the field, all of them, as long as there's a smile. I could care less. As long as you're there having a good time, great. That's what I want to see. I could care less if, and it's, I kid you not, everywhere I go, whether it's indoor, outdoor, any state, no matter the weather, and it's funny, I don't care if you're in a banana suit, because that is the actual thing that I see everywhere, no matter where I go, is somebody is always in a banana suit. If you're in that banana suit, or if you're decked out like the guy, like your Ghost from Call of Duty, top to bottom, quad nods, I mean, you name it. I don't care. If you've got a smile on your face and you're having a good time, that's my favorite kind of airsofter to see.
Let's follow that with what's your least favorite kind of airsoft player to see?
Least type of favorite airsofter I want to see on a field is gun shamers, gear shamers, headhunters, just bad eggs in general. I mean, when it comes to gun and gear shamers, I mean, those guys are just literally like, you don't have this, or you don't have this, or you don't have the best this, or this or that. I can't stand that. Like we were saying before, it doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you're out here to do is what you're out here to do. I don't care. If you want to play with a pistol all day long in your jeans, fine, do it. But there are some people out here that want to run that top gear, whatever, fine. If you're that, it's just that gun gear shamers make me so upset, because it's like not everybody has the money or the capability or availability to spend, you know, $400, $500, $600, thousands of dollars on a kit or guns. Let them do what they want to do. Like that's, to me, that's insane. Headhunters, that's just like those kids that literally go out there specifically just looking to body count. Like, sure, yes, do I go out there with a mission like, I'm going to play Call of Duty, let's see how many kills I get, let's see how many times I die. But for me, that's, how can I get myself better? How can I make myself better as a player? How can I, the things that I did where I failed, how can I do that so I don't fail again, whether it's in a game or real world type situations? That's just for me. But those guys that go out specifically looking to stack bodies, and they don't care how fast they do it, or if they hurt anybody doing it, or if they upset anybody doing it, and they go out there and speed trigger and mag dump, and just that stuff kills me to the most T of anything with those kinds of guys, especially is those rampers. Bad eggs in general. It's just, if you're going to go out there and be sour, stay home. It's straight up. If you're going to go out there and be sour, and you know, more times than not, those kinds of people, you know who you are. And if you're going out there to do that and you know you are, stay home.
Starting to see a pattern with the people that we've interviewed so far, is that the shit behavior on a field is not looked at very well by the members of the community that have been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
You know, and that's actually, I'm 90% sure that's what everyone is going to say, and that's a very specific reason why I'm asking that question to everybody, so it can resonate with people that actually care.
Yep.
There's going to be people that don't care. There are people that just, no, I don't care. I'm going to go out. Their fun is other people's misery.
Yep.
So that's going to happen. That's going to happen in life, airsoft, whatever. But there are going to be people that maybe, hopefully, check themselves a little bit, check their attitude. But maybe I don't need to act that way. Yep. I really care about this sport, and maybe the way I've been acting has been wrong. And I guarantee you, if you have been doing that, the people that see that you make that change are going to support you.
Yep, 100%.
You know, that's really important. I think it's really important for the guys that have been doing this a long time to try to point people they see potential in to, you know, change their ways a bit.
Absolutely. And I think also it's like, it comes to it, like how your community is based will react to how your fields are based. Because like if you have a community that is filled with nothing but people that are going to be negative naysayers or the bad eggs, more times than not, those communities fail. More times than not, there's problems in those communities. More times than not, those fields close because of those communities, because of those people. You know, it may take one bad egg, you know, to a local field throwing a grenade and pissing off the neighbors, and they call the police. You know, doing that, or if these kids going to fields, group of kids going and, you know, mag dumping kids, and then all of a sudden an all-out brawl bags out. That can get people in trouble. Get people arrested. People can get hurt.
Real trouble.
Like,
yeah,
it's not worth it. It's a game. Like, go out, have fun. That's it.
Keep your serious fun switch in check.
Yep.
What do you hope to see more of in the community?
More of this. This is insane. I mean, I've seen a couple of things here. I know like Zulu 24, they're doing a podcast. But like this, something like this, just to grow out and get people to know more about their own community. Like really, like other than like going out there and going, oh, hey, my name's Nick, or hey, my name's John, or, you know, whatever, your call sign, however you want to talk to people. This kind of gives more in depth, a little bit about if those guys that are sitting at home and they happen to be on all of these Facebook groups or, you know, Discord channels. I want to get into airsoft, but I don't know. Like, what are the people like? What are the fields like around here? What do people say about it? Sure, do people post reviews talking about a field, this and that? Yeah, more times than not, it's just gameplay. They just see what it is. But this kind of stuff, it makes me excited to see that there's actually still people out there now growing it, trying to spread community. Like my goal personally, and along with the help of my sponsors, is like, I'm out here to grow this community and make this more enjoyable for everybody, and also to make sure people are comfortable and safe while doing this. Like each one of my sponsors I look at to help me in my goal of growing the community. So like this kind of stuff makes me excited to see out here. And this is what we need more of, is the community strength, community growing, and bringing it together rather than that high school clique niche separation.
Well, you've definitely found an ally in your goals, sir. We're 100% on board with this, the way you feel about it. What do you hope to see less of in the community?
Definitely, like, I mean, like we've said, I definitely want to see less of that high school clique stuff where it's, sure, I get it. You might be on a team, you might not be on a team. Again, it's just like, go out, have fun, and play with what you have. It kills me still. I mean, to this day, like I'm a victim of it. Like I will never segregate. I could care, like I said, if you're in a banana suit, if there's one kid alone by himself having a horrible time in a banana suit, all right, dude, let's go. Here's a smoke. Here's this. Let's go have some fun. I don't care. Like, we're gonna go have some fun. But like, that's what it kills me the most, is like seeing people walking up to others and not pulling others into it to have fun, to do this and to enjoy it together. Because like, again, it's that one kid that just got dropped off for the first time by himself, legally, you know, can sign the paperwork, or his parents can sign it. He doesn't need them on the field with them, but like, not know what to do, not know where to go, not where, like, how to understand the game. He has questions, or she has questions. That kills me the most. I can't stand that. Like, I love being able to go to a field, and if there happens to be, like, I love going to my locals and seeing a family come in, like, for the first time as a family, not just like a group of friends, an actual mom, dad, son, you know, a daughter, you name it, whatever. Let's try airsoft together. That's the squad I'm with for the freaking day. Yep. That right there, that's awesome. The fact that the family is coming out to try something new, try something different. I'm running with those guys, because for me, I know for a fact they've never seen a smoke grenade. I know they've never cleared a building. I know they've never rushed up and scored an objective I want them to experience the same things I did when I attended my first Milsim event and got an MVP award. I want to be able to do those things to people out here rather than just go, I don't like you, or I don't like you.
I think it's going to the family idea that you just threw in and how people treat people. You don't know who that family might be. You don't know
what they're going through.
if no, not just that, but think of it as, but that's also very true. You don't know what they're going through on a personal level or what's going on in their life. But say it's their first time and they go out and they have a terrible experience never playing airsoft again.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
Or say they go out there and the mom and dad they did it for their kids because they wanted to do it for their kids.
Have a little bit of fun.
They had an amazing time. They do it again. And maybe those people are potential investors that have a whole other life that you have no idea about. And they love this so much and they see what it does for their kids that they're
going to open a field. We're going to open a store.
Whatever it is. But if you treat them like crap, they're gone. Terrible experience. Don't treat people like crap.
I don't want these
you don't
kids
know
coming around.
Yeah, right. But if they're in a great experience, like a lot of people do and love this sport, you don't know who you might be scaring off. Yep. Always take in the people that you don't know. And you know, I couldn't agree with that more. What do you hope to see in the next 5 years for Airsoft?
Locally, I'd love in the next 5 years, definitely a couple more fields. I would definitely love to see, whether it's indoor or outdoor, I would definitely love to see a couple more fields. Here in the New England area, we definitely have a good choice of fields. You know, we do have to, you know, for certain people that are like up in Maine, they do have to drive quite a distance down to, you know, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut if they want to play indoor, or vice versa for those guys down in the, you know, the city area if they want to come up and they want to play woods ball. It's a little bit of a drive. So I would definitely love to see, you know, within the next 5 years, you know, not necessarily a couple of fields, even if it's just a field that might be able to closely capability offer, you know, indoor, outdoor, or even if it was two fields that partnered together, you know, and that made that company community of, we have an indoor field, we have an outdoor field, you know, like advanced action sports, they have, you know, they have their indoor field in Warwick, Rhode Island, you know, they have their small CQB field in West Warwick, or no, sorry, not West Warwick, in Webster, Massachusetts. And then they just recently obtained some land in Tolan, Massachusetts for their Milsim field. That's awesome. That's cool. That business is growing the community a little bit differently, and they're hitting all of those different. They've got their indoor community, they've got their outdoor but weekend fun community at their, you know, outdoor field, and then now they're giving that option of Milsim to those guys that want, when they do have Milsim events and they host their, you know, monthly or whatever they're going to do, it gives that option. So I definitely want to see more fields. And I definitely want to see stores. I mean, we have the Army Barracks store that has 5 locations throughout New England. You know, there's X-Fire Paintball and Airsoft. They have a couple of locations, a couple of surplus stores here and there. But I would definitely love to be able to actually see like one of those name brand stores coming out this way. You know, I've seen like, and slightly commenting here and there, but like E-Vike, they're all West Coast. They're all mid center of the country. There's nothing like them out here. You know, yes, we do have Amped Airsoft. I love guys at Amped Airsoft. I love all of them. I love what they do and their missions and all of their standings. But like, not everyone can get down to Pennsylvania. You know, not everyone can, you know, go to these certain places or these big stores or whatever. So I definitely would love to be able to see, even if it's a couple mom and pop shops, open up for the availability for a guy to physically walk into somewhere and look at something. Because a lot of these times these kids go to these fields and some fields don't have guns to sell or to try or to use. So I'd love it if people could physically walk into a store and go, I've heard about Crytek's. Can you hand me a Crytek? Okay, this is now what I'm holding. I like this. Rather than, oh, that's what that looks like. I'm going to buy it and, oh my God, now I don't like this. So I definitely, stores and fields for sure.
That's a great point. What advice can you give to new airsofters?
Again, my thing for new airsofters is, if you haven't tried it and you're looking to get into it, rent. Try it out first. If you're into it and you're looking to change up your things, change up your kit, change anything, do your research first. Whether that's Google, whether that's your friends. I mean, sometimes, and I've even gone to local law enforcements and like ask them how they, how they carry a tourniquet setup, how they carry this, how they do that. It's like, ask around and build your loadout to what you want. Don't let others dictate how you build it. If you are going to be a sniper, if that's what you want to do, cool. Build the ghillie suit like you want to build the ghillie suit. Don't sit here and let people tell you, oh, you got to spend this much money on a kicking Mustang suit, or on this suit, or on this suit, or whatever. Go out, in my opinion, go out and get a jacket, poke a bunch of holes in it, and build your own ghillie suit. Like, make it your own. Like, you don't have to go spend a bunch of money on it. Make it. Same thing again. It's just like, find what makes you happy in this sport and find what makes you comfortable to enjoy the sport. And quite frankly, community, telling new players, find that group of friends. If you even if you don't know them, find that group that you randomly will meet up with every once in a while. Hey, you guys want to make it a weekly thing, or every 2 weeks we kind of just hang out? Build that trust group. Find a group. I mean, for me, I don't. I mean, I can do that anywhere. I don't want to say that I don't. I love, for me, being able to go out and talk to anybody. I love being able to run with anyone. New players, don't be afraid. Ask questions. Learn. We're all here. Most of us are here to help. It's not everyone's an ass. So that's just how I think about that. I mean, do what you want to do to make it happy and have fun.
I think a lot of the veteran players feel exactly the same way. And I think maybe there's a good chance that when everyone starts off, they have a little bit of that ego, a little bit of that want to show
Always.
what I can get capable of. But the guys that have been doing it for a while, they get to the point where, man, this is just supposed to be fun. This is where I blow off my steam for the week. I've been working all week, whatever it is, guys or girls. And this is just my time to let loose and have a good time. Doesn't care 100%. If I'm getting shot, doesn't care if I'm shooting, just having a good time. And
as long as I don't get hurt, as long as nobody gets hurt.
I know that always sucks when people do. And like, we've seen a couple here and there, but usually it's just misstepping and rolling and breaking
just
or
those
whatever.
tiny mistakes, and it happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, anything you can do to prevent those things. But again, it's just playing smart, playing safe. I say it literally on every video, as much as I can. Every video or every live, play smart, play safe, play respectfully. 3 keys.
Yep, I agree with that. Well, man, thank you very much for sitting with us. And
I appreciate you guys letting me come up. This has been an absolute blast.
Yeah, man. Thanks. We really appreciate it. Didn't meet you before today, and we appreciate you taking the chance.
Nope, absolutely, and I appreciate you guys doing this to grow the community and get the outreach and just kind of let people know what they're looking at and looking to get into. I mean, alone just in the New England community, but I'm sure that this is going to go elsewhere with people who share it and post it, and everywhere across the country might see it and see what communities are like, what it should be like. So,
we'll see.
Definitely got my shares and my follows and posts, guys. So I appreciate it.